So we're going to talk a little bit about cloud computing. I'm sure you've all heard a lot about cloud computing. There tends to be a lot of confusion about what is cloud computing, what isn't it. And I always tell people, it's not that difficult. It's not that relatively simple concept. In terms of, you're not using, obviously, your own server, your own computer, in your own department, or wherever. There are some savings, both in terms of financial savings, of using a server in another jurisdiction, another area, and there are additional savings and resource implications to doing that. So as we say here, in the simplest terms, cloud computing means storing and accessing data and programs online instead of through your particular computer's hard drive. And so, of course, you're using a server at another location. And it's so important to have the data used in the way that you expect. I think that's the only expectation in terms of data synchronized with other information over the web. And of course, this is big business in today's day and age. The market was already generating, they said, 100 billion in 2012, many years ago, and it could be 270 billion by the year end. And it's interesting, many years ago, talking right after 9/11, when the Patriot Act was introduced, and there was some talk, as did actually happen in British Columbia and Nova Scotia, where information had to be kept within your jurisdiction. And I remember people within the Ontario government calling me the next day and saying, Commissioner, are you going to make that and are you going to impose that here in Ontario? That would have enormous cost implications and other implications, and they're very, very disturbed about it. And I said, absolutely not. I would never impose that. I think it is unnecessary, and actually I don't think it does achieve the intended objective. But I said, what I will do, I said, you can outsource services. What you can't do is outsource accountability. I will hold you accountable for the data and the protection of the data and the security and confidentiality expected to be associated with that data. But whether you wish to have the data reside in Ontario or in the cloud in some other jurisdiction, that's your business. And we have never had any problems with that here. And I actually think British Columbia has sort of ruined the day when they did that, because it has had major implications in terms of what there can do. Now, in the next slide, we talk about some of the characteristics of the cloud, and I outline 5 in particular. Just some of the benefits in terms of on-demand self-service. This is a significant one in terms of being able to provision computing capabilities without requiring actual human intervention. So you can get what you need when you need it. It has enormous benefits. And broad network access as well. It would enable a network and the access through standard mechanisms, be it your cell, your mobile, your laptop, whatever. The resource pooling is a major, major implication that the providers' computing resources are pooled to serve multiple consumers, therefore resulting in cost savings, but enormous access to services. Rapid elasticity to the consumer, the capabilities available for provisioning often appear to be unlimited and can be appropriated in any quantity at any time. So massive possibilities in terms of what you can do, and measured services. A cloud service systems automatically control and optimize resource use. So resource use, it can have enormous benefits, but again, you have to be in control. You have to know how the data is being protected. And in the next slide, I talk about navigating privacy in a cloud environment, because cloud computing, while it provides an opportunity for organizations to reduce costs, increase flexibility, improve IT capabilities, there are also concerns that you have to, for example, understand where your data is stored and the impact of multi-jurisdictional privacy requirements and data residency rules, if there are any, like there are in British Columbia, for example. You have to ensure that your cloud vendor protects your data through very strong service level agreements. And that was one of the things I insisted upon when I was commissioner. As I said, you can outsource services. Make sure you've got really strong contractual agreements with them. That which is in the contract is what will ultimately deliver the way in which your products and services are protected. And it's very, very important to have in place. And third, explore various encryption technologies with your vendor in terms of what they're going to employ so that your customers' data can remain as private and secure as possible. We talked about the strength of encryption and how absolutely vital that is. So you want to ensure that wherever you have your information in the cloud, that the cloud service provider offers those services. So this is just a small nutshell about the cloud. I'm going to switch now, and I'm going to talk about in the next slide, privacy and marketing. And you may think that's unusual. People often think of privacy versus marketing, privacy versus functionality in that way. And I put that on its head, as you might expect. I do actually a lot of work with LoyaltyOne. They run Miles, for example, and they really like the privacy messaging. The CEO of Airmiles said, we want to make privacy a positive brand. We want it not to be this negative associated with what we do. We want it to be positive. And in the next slide, Jessica Kernan, who was with Advertising Age, she wrote this great article where she said, privacy by design is a starting point that leads to long-term benefits. And the reason I love this is because one of the messaging I'm trying to deliver to governments and businesses is privacy can attract positive opportunities and can leave you with stakeholders, be they consumers or citizens, who have confidence and trust in what you're offering them. In the next slide, Jessica Kernan talks about by adopting a privacy by design mentality, we can begin to transform ideas like these into best practices that have long-term benefits for both consumers and brands. Let's lead the way. And again, I love that because she has embraced privacy by design as being able to expand the offering that marketers have to the public. And that's what you want. You don't want people having to hide from this stuff. You want people to embrace it. In the next slide, I talk about 3 key points to help marketers. And you can use this in a government context. Keep this in mind. 1, integrate data planning as an upstream design principle. And by that, again, it's all about when you start and you embed privacy at the beginning, then anything upstream, anything that flows from that, will be far more strongly protected in terms of both privacy and security. I always ask government departments I meet with, I say, do you have a data map? Do you know how the information flows? At the time it enters into your premises, point of data collection, it's identifiable, it's collected for a particular purpose, taxes, for example. Where does it go from there? How does it flow? To what departments? To whom? Whose hands does it end up in? What programs is it in? Is it retained in identifiable form? Do you make any additional uses of that information that the citizen may be unaware of in terms of secondary uses? Do you have authority to do that? All of this can be visually mapped out, and my experience is people find that very helpful. It's just a very helpful tool in terms of how to visually observe the flow of this information. The second point is you can evolve from the fine print to more transparent disclosure strategies. The fine print is the negative. Always think of it as a negative in terms of privacy. Not just in terms of privacy, in terms of people understanding and likelihood to comprehend what you're trying to communicate to them. So I always think of the fine print as the black hole. I don't want you to have to rely on anyone reading the fine print. It's there to protect you from a legal perspective. And I understand you have to do that. But I want you to make it accessible to citizens. People have to understand what you're doing and why are you doing it. And the value of the service you provide. You offer government services that have enormous value associated with them. You want to convey that to the public very strongly. And then make privacy a positive brand. positive part of the brand experience. You can also do that here, because I want to suggest to you that there is a very negative brand associated with certain departments within government. And I've been talking a lot about CSIS and the CSE lately, so I don't think I'm exaggerating. It's in the media a lot, and I often do what I call my neighbors test. I have very intelligent, bright neighbors, but they're not in the privacy security field. So I always want to test with them what they've read and their understanding. Everybody, my neighbors, they know CSE and CSIS. Without me having to explain it to them. They read it in the Globe and Mail or the National Post, wherever, and the Auto Citizen. And they don't like what they're reading. I say, why is, I think it was last week, it was CSIS's uses of the metadata on Canadian citizens. Why are they accessing my information like that? I'm a law-abiding citizen. Why would they be looking at mine? So these questions, a negative brand associated with these government departments, I don't think that's to anyone's advantage. And I think one of the things that is being explored right now is the creation of an independent oversight body that, for both CSIS and the CSE, that would truly be independent, perhaps a parliamentary body consisting of all three political parties. In the context of marketing, in the next slide, I just want to give you one example. Gary Media is a company that came to us many years ago, and they baked privacy by design into what they do. And they developed this amazing technique that allows ISPs, companies, to provide location-based advertising to their customers without disclosing any of the location data. So companies want to deliver their ads to certain socioeconomic levels, certain geographical levels, etc. And Darren Media said, okay, we can do that, but you're not going to know who we send it to. You're not going to know the individuals involved. You don't need to know any of that. They accepted that, and they developed this very unique double-blind privacy enhancing data architecture, where both privacy and data utility was embedded into this. And they, as I said, embraced privacy by design right from the beginning. They wanted to make their platform unique, that it was based on privacy by design platform. And it's taken off enormously. They were recently acquired by a large company, Audience Partners, which shows startups that, yes, you can be a startup, yes, you can embrace privacy and be successful in terms of both privacy and functionality of that which you deliver. I gave a talk at a major Canadian Marketing Association conference, I think it was last year or the year before. And in the next slide, one of the